Hello, good morning. It's Dom with you on the Daytime Show. We do have some divorce lawyers standing by. They're all around us here, just in case we open the can of worms, which is our next story. You know, that moment where you found yourself, muttering to yourself, I do everything around here. Well, your other half is just, seemingly having a lovely life, chilling on the sofa, eating the snacks, watching the TV with that bingeable show that you would really like to be doing as well. You are not alone. By the way, pink jobs, blue jobs, is that still a thing? Let's be honest, that could take the shine off your relationship, and it doesn't matter how long, and maybe the longer you have been with your partner, the more grating it can be for you. So how do you get them to step up without it turning into a row? That's why I mentioned those divorce lawyers. Come on, let's try and bring that down. Let's bring the heat out of this today. Our daytime relationship expert, Teresha Young, is with me on BBC Radio Kent. Hi, Teresha. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Dom. How are you?
I'm really well. Now, I want to ask this question. I've always wanted to ask you this while you've been with us here on the show. How do you manage to always sound cheerful, upbeat and positive when you are dealing with some of the trickiest situations in our lives?
It's daily mindset work. That's what it is. I'm not superhuman. I'm just very intentional about my mindset.
And you got a good lawyer.
Oh, yeah, one of those divorce ones you have there, huh?
Okay, well, let's try and help out today. So I'm thinking, for those of us over 50 where we're kind of, we've been in our relationship, or as some of the kids now say, the situationship for quite a while, there is that sense, isn't there, that sometimes we've just kind of got into a bit of a rut with, you always do that and you always do that. And let's be honest, it can sometimes feel very boring and dull.
Oh, absolutely, because it becomes so mundane, and we do get ourselves into a bit of a rut, and things, as I say, become custom and practice. You just keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's like being a hamster wheel. A hamster on a hamster wheel. But the thing is that when that starts to happen, as you were saying, you might get frustrated about somebody who's sitting on the couch, eating, binging away, but then that can actually bring some resentment and frustration, and it's that what starts to cause some distance between couples, especially even not speaking up about it.
The impact it can have as well, I guess, is like a chipping away almost over time.
Oh yeah,
that resentful feeling could really sort of boil over.
Definitely. So it chips away, and when it happens, it chips away at the intimacy and the connection in a relationship. So there's so many reasons, Dom, why that can happen, especially if you feel like somebody isn't playing their part, they're not stepping up. But it isn't just about the physical or the visible tasks such as cleaning, cooking and washing, because many couples do fall out over things like that. It's what's lying underneath it. It's the mental load, it's the emotional load, it's the planning, it's remembering the admin, it's thinking about the logistics. Oh, I've got to schedule an appointment, I've got to remember birthdays. And then if you've got a family unit, it's the emotional load too. So you've got to think about the emotional well-being of the family, how's everybody's moods, how's the teenager, managing the tantrums of the partner as well, maybe. I'm not as a child, but I'm trying to smooth conflicts over. So it's not just the physical aspects, it's the mental and the emotional burden too.
That longer relationship, though, as well, is it means that you've kind of just got used to things, or maybe, the idea of having a conversation now after all these years of suddenly saying, will you ever put the bins out? You maybe just got so used to not saying that. I'm also interested in how we might have changed as couples too. Whatever your gender is, however your life is, and, whether you're married or not married, or at the end of the day, we're all human beings. And one thing that often happens is that, we kind of probably watch what our parents did and our grandparents did, and we just follow suit and think, well, that's what you're supposed to do. Even if we feel like we're kind of, modern day people, it doesn't matter. We saw it, so we've taken it in. We always say about children take in what they experience. So we were children once and we did the same. So adding that in and adding that kind of mix that people listening right now thinking, oh, that's me you're talking about. Yeah. I'm really keen to think, are we changing some of those things? So, for example, there's that horrible kind of expression, pink and blue jobs, which doesn't seem to be fit for purpose in 2025, but still it does happen. And I know that it's kind of reversed in my household. So if there is such a thing, if you're going to go on the trope of it being normalised. So DIY, my wife Amanda, brilliant at DIY. She does all the DIY. I don't really do the DIY because I'm not brilliant at it, and she loves it. She tells me she loves it anyway. But she likes that challenge of doing it. I'm going to say the same for gardening. Amanda really enjoys gardening. I do sometimes try and do some of it. I'm not very good at it. I'm now going to sound like this really kind of like, what do you do then? Hold on. I enjoy ironing. Hello. I enjoy ironing. Don't mind doing that. And actually, I should be doing that. And cooking. I'm the cook in our house, and I love cooking. So I really enjoy that. And I've just started doing it again, Teresha, where when Amanda comes home, I've got a meal ready for her, and I'm really enjoying that. That's a really nice thing that I enjoy doing. However, lots of people listening to this will have their different balance. So how do we work through that?
Definitely. So there's two parts to that, actually. So if you do have children, it is about not necessarily the pink and the blue, but it's about creating new norms at home. So if you can, teach your children early that chores are not gendered, that is part of a household team. And what you're explaining there, the dynamics between you and Amanda, it's more about fairness and empathy. So not necessarily about it being gendered or 50-50, so to speak. It's about doing it together. And I always say teamwork makes the dream work. So it's more about how can you create fairness and empathy in the task that you're doing. So this is an opportunity. If you are sitting there thinking, okay, that's not me, and it is feeling really, really heavy right now, sit down and have some self-reflection, because you're going to want to have a conversation with your partner if it's at that point. So ask yourself, what's feeling heavy right now? You're feeling loaded. What is it? And what would you like some support in? Big or small, just a couple of questions there. And then also think about what is that going to do for the relationship, because as you're sharing there, Dom, Amanda probably really appreciates coming home and having that meal. And you'd also hope for most couples that they will say thank you. And that's one key thing that we do miss out, is actually saying thank you and showing that appreciation, even if you think that they should be doing it. Saying thank you still goes a long way.
That is a really good point, actually, and it's a good thing to do. Now, I've got a case study here who may or may not be a million miles away from where I'm sitting.
Okay.
And the case study says, if I'm tidying up and blank sat on the sofa, I'll do a bit of huffing and puffing to show it's putting me out. And if I do it enough, maybe he'll offer to help. So is Sophie right there? I'm sorry. Oh, I should have kept you anonymous. I'm sorry.
Oh dear, I wasn't Sophie, was it? So basically, that passive aggressive, I'm going to label it, behaviour doesn't really work. Some people need to be more direct. So this is where you just have this compassionate conversation with somebody, and just do it in 4 steps, 4 simple steps. For example, the observation. I've noticed that you tend to sit on the sofa and don't offer help, for example. And you state how you feel. And I'm feeling really drained and really feeling unseen right now. Then you say the need. What I need is more shared responsibility so I don't feel alone in it. And then a request. Would you be open to us sitting down and looking at how we can rebalance things? So rather than just doing it indirect, have that conversation, but then what you've noticed, and then not finger pointing and say, you always sit on the sofa, you don't help me, because that outburst is going to be defensive to the other person. But really take stock to say what you've noticed, how you're feeling about it, what you need.
And the other thing is, don't take it out on the kitchen cupboard when you go in, you know what I mean? Because that's what happens sometimes.
It does.
Yeah, don't do that. Teresha, always great hearing from you, as always. Teresha Young, our daytime relationship and life coach on BBC Radio Kent. Nice to hear from her.